your phone too, so you can hear.
I don't have control over anything.
Hey, good evening. This is Terrell D. Mims and Judy Adler with the Global Caregivers Network. We're coming forward to share with you our first year anniversary. There are a lot of things that's going on. I know this weekend. However, guess what? We still have to come forward and bring you our first year anniversary celebration. This is such a wonderful time right now. It's a milestone for the Global Caregivers Network and the Global Caregiver Speakers. So as the speakers come in, we're going to bring them up to the stage and let you all hear their story on how and why they became a speaker and a member of the Global Caregivers Network. So what I can say, I'm just going to introduce Judy. We're just going to add lib for a little while and let Judy just share, first of all, why did she join the Global Caregivers Network, and then she's going to share with us why she became a Global Caregiver Speaker. Now, we're going to take our time now. We're going to be here for about 1 hour. And we're just going to share on different topics tonight. This is our first year anniversary of the Global Caregivers Network. So let me just share. I'm going to put Judy back down, but I'm going to just share where the Global Caregivers Network comes from and why it even come into existence. Okay, so Judy, I'm going to put you back down for a minute. I come back up. So here we are, wonderful people. We are, this is our first year, and we're celebrating the Global Caregivers Network. This network came about on June 18th. You know what, at the time, it was so funny because I did not know that it was the Juneteenth weekend. However, that's okay. We're still going to celebrate. It's a lot of things that's going on. However, you still continue to do what God has called for you to do, right? So this is what I'm doing. We're celebrating. We're going to have a good time tonight. We have some members that's coming in slowly. We start at 6 o'clock on time. We try to be on time with things that God has for us to do. And we're just going to move forth. So let me just share with you where the Global Caregivers Network come in from. Global Caregivers Network is an exclusive caregiver or network for caregivers exclusively. We want to share on the topics of different things that's going on in the caregiver's life. Some of them have family caregivers, some are professional caregivers, and some are in the field and been working a long time. As such, myself, I've been a registered nurse for over 20 plus years and still going at it. So to continue with the Global Caregivers Network, it's an exclusive network on Facebook. It's a private group. You can ask to join at any time, where we come together to share experiences, share our stories, give feedback, and then we even pray. This is foundational on a Christian-based faith background. You know, all of us need God in our lives. Some of us, all of us do. However, everyone may not feel that they need God right now. And that's okay. We're going to continue to do what God has orchestrated us to do in the Global Caregivers Network. So as the people are starting to come in, I want to just share, like I said, how it came about. So on June 18th, it might have been a couple of days before, God had put in my spirit to start a Global Caregivers Network. Now, I wasn't named that initially, Global Caregivers Network, because mind you, I'm trying to figure out, listen, what do I want to do? What do I want to do for the rest of my life while I'm here on earth? You know, it's so many things that we ask God to do, and then we don't fulfill them. However, with this assignment here, the Global Caregivers Network and the Global Caregiver Speakers, which we're going to talk about later, which was established on December 25th. We're going to talk about that briefly later. But the network, the Global Caregivers Network, is all about caregivers networking globally. That's what it's all about. We share, like I said, we share stories, we come together on different topics, and we pray for one another. And so that's where we're at with everything with the Global Caregivers Network. So if you or someone you know are a caregiver, it could be United States or beyond, connect with us. This is what we do. We, like I said, it's a private page on Facebook, Global Caregivers Network, and we have the Global Caregivers Speakers. But right now, we're going to talk about the network, and we're going to have one of our network speakers to come up and share her story on how she, number one, got involved with the Global Caregivers Network, and then she's going to share a little bit about how she became a global caregiver speaker. Judy have been with me. Judy Amber has been with me since the inception of the Global Caregivers Network. She is truly on the front line. She's right there with me. And it's just so wonderful to have someone that's really going to be a trailblazer with you and do what needs to be done. So I'm going to have Judy come up. She's going to share her story. Today is the anniversary, 1 year anniversary of the Global Caregivers Network. Judy, I'm going to have her come up to the stage right quick. And she's just going to share her story. So, Judy, there's Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
So, we're going to share uh, what made you become number one, a Global Caregivers Network member, and then share with us briefly on how you became a Global Caregiver speaker. And we're going to bring people up as they come into the studio. So I'm going to let you go ahead and share as I go back down. And you just share with us.
Okay, first and foremost, Miss Sherelle, I met her a year ago at LET, and little did I know that we were both actually in the same field of working with healthcare. So in the time that went by that we spoke, I've come to realize that we actually never met in person. So it is that much more amazing that we connected. So as far as getting involved, when she had asked me, I was like, well, I'm not sure exactly what she wanted me to speak on because I was speaking on the loss of my daughter, but I was also involved in taking care of people in a group home setting with TBIs. So I was a little confused of which way she wanted me to go. But actually, the two joined together because even in the health field, we lose so many of our loved ones. So it's an opportunity for me to reach out as well and help people through that part of the healthcare as well. Becoming a speaker. Miss Sherelle, again, she knew this wasn't something that I was looking for. This is something that what God brings to you. And if he makes a calling, who am I to say no? I've had 24 years of experience in the health field, with the last 19 years being with the same company. So I just believe wholeheartedly that we need to take care of each other, and in this community allows us a space to do that, which Miss Sherelle has a really safe net here where we can support each other and know that we're not alone. Healthcare, we've talked about it, that it's not just providing care for our loved ones, but it's providing care for ourselves so we can be the best for those that we're taking care of. So, Miss Sherelle, back to you.
Okay, wonderful. Judy, thank you so much. But you know what? This is so much involved with this. It's not just the Global Caregivers Network. It's not just the Global Caregiver Speakers. I'm going to bring up another wonderful guest that we have, another member and a speaker that's on the platform, Cynthia E. Fields. Come on up, Cynthia. How are you? You can unmute.
Hi.
How are you? Thank you so much for joining us, Cynthia E. Fields.
My pleasure.
Thank you. We're just going to take our time tonight. We're going to be here for maybe half an hour, however long it takes. More people are starting to come in. They're coming in slowly. I know there's a lot of things that's going on this weekend as far as, whatever. There's so much going on. However, we are still going to celebrate what God has for us to do in the Global Caregivers Network. Thank you so much for joining us, Cynthia. Thank you so much, Judy. And I'm going to have you come back up, Judy, to just share, your story and what you'll be talking about a little bit later as they continue to come in. So right now, I'm going to have Cynthia Just come up to the stage, Cynthia, and just share with us what do you have going on. First of all, what made you join the Global Caregivers Network, and then share with us what made you become a part of the Global Caregiver Speaker. Now, to let you have the mic. Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you, Sherelle. Again, congratulations, 1 year anniversary. This is so amazing. I think that caregivers don't get the credit that they deserve. So for me, I actually met Sherelle. I was going back through my notes, and I think it was just in May. I happened to see a ding. I'm on Clubhouse. And so for those of you familiar with the Clubhouse platform, when you follow different individuals, it'll ding you to let you know that particular person is on their live in a particular room. So I saw that someone that I follow, Dr. Yolanda Jerry, who is also a speaker, she was in a room, and the room was called Caregivers. And I just decided to check it out because of my being in a role of caregiver for my mom, and then also observing my mother take care of my dad for a number of years. So I got into the room, and at that time, you guys were talking about the last conference, and then there was mention of this upcoming conference, and there was a call for speakers. And during that time, I shared my story, and it felt really good to get that story out because I hadn't really shared it with anyone. As far as my own personal experiences, what I dealt with. And when I found out that there was an opportunity for me to share even more with a bigger audience and to be able to hear other people speak, it just really spoke to my spirit, and just the title of it, The Heart of a Caregiver. So not just helping to provide care for someone, but it's the mentality, it's the motives, it's the intention behind it, which for me is love. And so that's what drew me to the conference to become a speaker. And what I will be talking about, I'll touch briefly, very, very briefly, on my experience, secondhand experience, watching my mother be caregiver to my dad for 10 years. He had Alzheimer's disease. And now, decades later, me being helping to be a caregiver for my mom in her time of need. So I just think that it's just a opportune time to talk about all of this. And COVID has really heightened the need for caregivers, both professionally and families. There are families who have been impacted by COVID who now have to take care of their loved ones who are dealing with the long-term effects of COVID or long-haul COVID. So just being able to provide resources, support, encouragement, inspire, and empower others who are in the same shoes that I'm in now and in the same shoes that my mom was in. So that's why I'm here. That's what I'm about. I think that this is something that God led me to. I think that it's aligned with my purpose. And so whenever he opens a door for me, I just want to walk through it boldly and do what he's called me to do. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cynthia. You know what? I said we're going to take our time with this today because it's just so wonderful. I'm going to bring Judy back up as well. Because I just want the people to just see, this is not something that we're just doing. This is God ordained. God is totally in this. And so, like I say, I know it's a lot of people that have things going on today. However, it does not negate what God has called for us to do for the global caregiver speakers and the network. And so, with that being said, I'm just gonna let you guys stay on the stage and just whatever y'all want to talk about. It's just, I mean, we just fun loving today. What do you guys think about the Juneteenth? This is the Juneteenth weekend. So, how does that rise up in your spirit? Juneteenth weekend. I'm gonna let you go ahead and continue, Cynthia.
Yeah, I remember
Bring her back up.
federal holiday last year. And I forgot about it. Just being honest, I forgot about it until. Can you hear me? Okay, I guess I don't hear myself talking.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I was reminded of it this week because I heard some news coverage of it being Juneteenth and it being a federal holiday. So I know a friend of mine, this will be his first day actually being able to take it as a federal holiday. So it's been approved for federal employees. And so not all industries and sectors are observing it in the stance in the instance that they're allowing their employees to take off. But I think that it's really a good time for people to gain more knowledge as to what Juneteenth actually means. I know in the African American community, we've had different celebrations over the years, but even in those celebrations, I don't know if everyone really understood the significance of that day or the significance of the holiday as far as us celebrating it within our culture. So I think that it's really a blessing because I think that there are certain aspects of our history and our experience in this country that has been erased from the history books. A lot of things that have not been taught about the African American experience. And so hopefully, I'm hoping that now that it is a federal holiday, that the schools will start talking more about what Juneteenth is really about and why it is so important. Like we have Black History Month. That's a time where a lot of institutions talk about, accomplishments in our community. But Juneteenth is a whole different category. And so I'm hoping that schools will now start talking about this and then educating our students so that we can have a better, clearer understanding of our culture and our history. So it's a great time. It's I'm very thankful that the president decided to go ahead and approve it as a federal holiday.
I hear you. We're here with you, Cynthia. Yes, thank you so much. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have everyone just come on up to the stage right now, and we're just going to just share. I'm gonna take everybody back down one at a time, but I'm gonna bring everybody up to the stage right now. I know some are off camera, some are on camera, some may be at work, and there's other things that's going on. However, I'm telling you right now, I am just so excited about what God is going to do with Global Caregivers Network and the Global Caregiver speakers. Thank you so much for joining us. Judy Amber, Cynthia E. Fields, Lisa Yvette Jones, Michelle D. Clark stands for the darn Michelle. Thank you all for joining us so far to celebrate the first year of Global Caregivers Network. Now, this is definitely a milestone. Just the time put in, you all don't see the behind the scenes, right? By the time everything come to you all, everything is in order, it's organized, it's in excellence, it's great quality. But the behind the scenes, it's a lot of like labor intense, so to speak. So all of you pretty much know if you're into the business, any type of business is going to take time. It's going to be labor intense in some instances. And this is why you have other people on your team to help you out. And so, with that being said, I'm going to let Lisa Yvette Jones and Michelle D. Clark share their story, number one, on how they became a member of the Global Caregivers Network, and then what made you become a part of the Global Caregiver Speakers. And I'm going to let Lisa Yvette Jones go first, and then Michelle, I'll let you follow behind her. Just share a
Well,
little
hello,
bit. We're not going to be on
hello,
here.
hello, hello, everyone. How are you?
We are
Can you hear
wonderful.
me?
Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa.
You are
Yvette.
welcome. I do apologize for not being on camera. It's been a very busy day, but definitely want to give my support here. And Sherelle, I definitely just want to thank God for you being obedient to the vision that He gave you for this process. And we wouldn't know about it. We wouldn't be about it if you hadn't taken what God has given you and shared it with the world. You and I and have shared the stage together along with my sister Michelle D. Clark, where she helps women transform. And my sister Judy there, we have shared other platforms together. But when one of our sisters come together to do something as powerful as this, bringing together caregivers, then of course the support is there, having been one for my mom, and then most recently for my dad. uh, you don't you go into these roles and you not never realizing that when you're the child and then you get older and you then start having to, look at some of the things that your parents are going through and realize that they need your help a little bit more than, you were accustomed to, you realize you're automatically in that role of a caregiver and really looking out for their best interests and making sure that they are getting all the things that they need, taking things off of them where they were the ones who were always the one making sure you were protected and cared for and making sure that you had everything you need. Then you find yourself in a situation, or at least I and my family, we found ourselves in a situation where mommy needed a little bit more of our care and concern. Dad needed a little bit more of our care and concern and us looking out for them. Things are so technical nowadays and what have you. And, so us reading documents, us making sure that their best was always a consideration with the medical field, and making sure that they weren't talked down to, but was spoken with in their appointments, and making sure that the doctors gave them direct eye contact because they were talking to them about their situation and not looking at us as if they didn't exist. We were just letting them know we're here in partnership, but let me tell you, they are still very strong and powerful in their own way, and we want them to be fully respected in that. But then one thing led to another, where they needed more of our care and taking care of some of their business expenses and things of that nature, and business you know um business transactions. So, before you know it, then here you are, in this role of going on 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 5 years, caring for them. And it was something that, let me tell you, it was very difficult at times. You had to be able to ask for help. And one of the things I tell a caregiver, what, never forget about yourself. Don't forget about yourself. But I had to learn that the hard way. It was in the midst of me caring about my mother that once I got her home, I decided to have an appointment for myself, that yearly appointment. Ladies, that yearly appointment, only to find out that, and the end of that appointment was a diagnosis that was abnormal. And before you knew it, I was before two gynecologic oncologists who had told me that I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. But listen, that was 13 years ago. I am, have gone from cancer to courageous, and I'm still here. So thank God that not only did I have the capacity to care for my mother, but then I could not forget about myself and made sure that I went to check on myself. And thank God that I did, because I had absolutely no symptoms, no irregularities. I received 2 death sentences, but let me tell you, I depended on those doctors for my diagnosis. But how many of you know that I had to depend on God for my prognosis? And let me tell you, I wasn't about to take that death sentence. I know it's appointed unto man once to die one day. It just wasn't going to be at the time that the doctor said. So congratulations to you on your 1 year anniversary. And I can't wait to hear from my other sisters. God bless.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing that. I just want to ask you one more question here. What made you join? Because it was a two-part question. What made you join the Global Caregiver Speakers? Because you
Yep,
all
I did.
are
I said that, it's just, our sister's doing something very powerful, and, you reached out, and it was a done deal. It was a done deal. So the answer was strictly yes. So it was supporting my sister who's doing something, and realizing the power and the no what needed to be done was this platform to be shared, because there are so many caregivers out there in so many different capacities, that I think that we take the role of the caregiver for granted. And then for you to put a spotlight on it, even though the person may not be in a caregiving state right now, but having been, it's beyond just, parenting, we raising our children and all of that. But when we have to go beyond that to make sure that we are not only looking out for ourselves, but looking out for the care of someone else who really need our support. When you came up with this platform and you reached out, it wasn't a hard decision. It was a heart decision, and I made that decision based on that.
beautiful. Thank you. So, amen. That is so beautiful, Lisa, because we do know one thing that in life, there are roads that we can take, right? And this Global Caregivers Network is definitely where you need to be at. And I know we haven't even chipped at the iceberg. I'm telling you, it's just even though there's a plethora of speakers out there, we have not even chipped this thing at all because there are so many professional and family caregivers or both. So Lisa Yvette Jones, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming in and being a part of the network and one of our keynote speakers. Listen, you guys haven't heard anything yet. Wait to July 9th. These speakers right here, I'm telling you, they are coming to bring their A game and their B and C game, okay? So thank you so much, Lisa Yvette Jones. We applaud you for coming on and also being one of our keynote speakers. Thank you so much. And so next coming to the stage, Michelle D. Clark. Michelle D. Clark, what can I say? She's been here since the beginning. You know, it's just certain people, when they hear about what's going on in the community, that they join you, they network with you, they come right in and intertwine with you, right? So a lot of these professional and or family caregivers have been in the business for a long time. I'm gonna let Michelle D. Clark share her story her way, you know, because can't nobody tell your story like you can tell it, right? So we're gonna let Michelle come to the stage as I get her prepped up. Michelle, I know you said you may have noise in the background, but we're gonna we're gonna get through the noise today. So let me add you up to the stage. Come on through, Michelle D. Clark. She's been with us right from the beginning. Come on through, Michelle. Tell us your story.
Thank you so much, Sherelle D. We both share that D. And I'm telling you, first of all, I am just so happy and grateful to be a part of this event and to have been here from the beginning because Miss Sherelle D. Mims is a godsend. Just as my sister Lisa said before us, that, you know, when God put this on her heart and she was obedient to his word and was able to spotlight sometimes what is seemingly a thankless job, if you will. When you are a caregiver, it is challenging. It's hard. And let me tell you something. I'm you know, Michelle D. Clark, I'm just a small town girl from Harvey, Illinois. Most folks don't even know where that is. And I'm telling you, to be able to be a part of something as global, as immense as this, as impactful as this, I just really can't even put it into words. I'm just extremely grateful for this opportunity to have been here from the beginning, to see the progress and the growth, and to be able to say yes to such just an opportunity to be able to share with others a behind the scene look at someone who has been a caregiver, who is a caregiver myself, and who is also, I like to call it caregived, meaning I was on the receiving end of having a caregiver when I was going through my challenges, my health challenges. I had 2 serious life-threatening illnesses. You guys are going to have to wait until July 9th to find out what those were. But I'm telling you, it was something else. And what made me say yes, first of all, because of who Sherelle is, because of who she is and who she is, how can you say no? How can you say no? How can you say no to someone who is always giving of themselves and what she does in her profession and what she also does personally. And then just the ray of sunshine that she brings with her. When I first met Sherelle, it was just like sisterhood at first sight. And we just bonded, and I was able to have transportation with her. It was fabulous. And we got a chance to gel at the Leadership Experience Tour. And so from there, the friendship, the sisterhood budded. And as soon as she planted that seed and said she needed some folks to help her to water it, I said, I'm in. I'm not going to say no. I wouldn't even think of saying no. Because again, who she is and who she is, and the platform that she's providing for people to come behind the scenes and share their stories. Because there's a lot of caregivers out there who are feeling isolated, feeling alone, especially with the pandemic. And they're wondering, I don't know how I can continue to do this. I'm giving of myself. I'm steadily pouring and nothing is getting poured back into me. Well, guess what? Sherelle, what she did was she's able to now spotlight these people, spotlight us who are giving. And then we can share our story so other people know you're not alone. We're doing it. You can do it. We're here for each other. And this isn't just a platform for speaking. There's also a group that you all need to know about. And if you haven't already linked up with the Facebook group that Sherelle has put together, the Global Caregivers Network, and she also has the Global Caregiver Speakers. So join and tap into that network because it is a network. It is here for us to learn from each other, to inspire each other, and to lift each other up. And so that's the one thing, many of things that one thing that I said, you know what, I'm saying yes to this, I'm saying yes to this platform, and I'm definitely going to assist in any way that I can to make sure that other caregivers and people who are on the receiving end of caregiving, this isn't just for the caregivers of sharing their story, this is also for people to be able to watch who may never know if caregiving may be thrusted upon them. Because just like myself and some of the other speakers here, we didn't sign up for it. I'm a relative caregiver. So it wasn't something that I went out for as a profession. Now, yes, I'm a licensed therapist. So in a sense, I do caregiving in that fashion. I'm a life coach. I do caregiving in that fashion because I care for all of my clients. But as far as having to do the duties of changing diapers, I'm talking about of somebody who was not of diaper age, feeding tubes of someone who was not able to swallow, suctioning, all the medications, all the routine that goes along with someone who was strictly dependent upon me to caregive for them. I didn't sign up for that, but I'm going to tell you what, God gave me that assignment. And because God gave me that assignment, I rose to the occasion. Because just like I couldn't say no to Sherelle, how you going to say no to God? See, God entrusted me enough that he gave me this gift that now I can give back to. And so I'm not going to get too much into the story because I really want you all to tune in on July 9th. You do not want to miss it because it's not just me, but there's other wonderful caregivers who are going to be opening up their heart. And that's why it's called the heart of a caregiver. We're going to be opening up our hearts and sharing with you. And what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And you want to be in the house. So make sure you get your tickets ASAP on Eventbrite. And if you've already gotten your ticket, don't be selfish. Share with somebody else. Like this post, share this post, and make sure that you tell other people about it. So that way they can experience what the people in the first round back in April, what they were able to experience. July, let me tell you something. If you were part of April, baby, wait till July. It is going to knock your socks off in a good way. And you're going to feel so empowered and so uplifted. And if you have a story that you want to share, that you need to tell, that you want to get out there, because let me tell you something, sharing is not only caring, it's cathartic. It is healing. So help to heal yourself while you're healing someone else. Make sure you connect with Sherelle D. Mims or one of us other who are on this platform. Connect with us so we can get you connected to get your story out there because we're waiting to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much again, Sherelle, for allowing me this opportunity. Let me tell you something. This is how much I couldn't say no to her. Y'all, let me get real transparent here. I'm at a family gathering, y'all. I'm at one of my very dearest friends. I'm at his mom's 78th birthday gathering. Folks came from out of town and everywhere. So I'm still in Michigan, but I'm not in my town. And I said, you know what? I took a break from the barbecue, child. And I said, let me get someplace secluded because I cannot miss the opportunity to talk to the people, to talk to you all and let you know how wonderful Sherelle Mims is and how awesome she is for having this platform that God has presented to us. And I didn't want to miss it. But I told her, I said, girl, I'm not going to miss it for the world. So I came. I love you all to life. And again, my name is Michelle D. Clark with Live Nation, where we are empowering women to live inspired, free, and transform. Take care. God bless. Thank you, Sherelle.
Wow. Come on through, Shade. I'm about to call you my daughter's name. Michelle D. Clark. Come on through. I'm going to bring everybody up to the stage. Listen, it's not over until God says it's over. Come on up, everyone. Come on up to the stage. We have some more people that's going to come in later. I just want to thank everyone. This is such a wonderful experience, right? This is just the beginning. Oh my God, listen, this is just the first year. We don't know what God have in store for, listen, second, third, fourth, and the fifth year. We're going to celebrate this again in 5 years. It may be at 3 years. Whatever God says, that's what I'm doing, right? I'm just being orchestrated by the love of God, by the voice of God, number one, because He's doing this. This is not about me. This is not about you. This is about everyone. We know there's just, I just can't keep saying there are so many caregivers. I would like for each of you to invite someone else to speak on the platform that'll be coming up again later on this year. So let me just put this out there now. November is National Caregivers Month, the whole month of November. So I did a spotlight. I was just doing things or letting God orchestrate it as usual. And I just did a spotlight. But we're going to do something a little bit different this year on the National Caregivers, for National Caregivers Month, the whole month. Now, y'all know I can't do the whole month. Come on now. I don't know. We're going to be doing something, but it's definitely going to be something dedicated to the heart of a caregiver. It's going to be related to the heart of a caregiver. And I will share more information later of what's going on and what's next for the Global Caregivers Network. And the speakers, is there anyone else who would like to share something else? I'm not going to keep you all long. I'm about to get out here in this sunshine and put on my trike, all my colors. Y'all see what I have on now? I'm about to change this whole gear, baby, and put on that red, yellow, green, black, and I'm hitting the streets, baby. But I just wanted to come on and celebrate the Global Caregivers Network and the Global Caregiver Speakers. Can we give a hand? It's been wonderful already on what God is doing. So y'all can share, y'all can speak up, but I got to get out here in the streets for a minute and enjoy the Juneteenth weekend. Listen, what do you think about the Juneteenth? Let me just give you my observation of the Juneteenth. I'm going to bring you all back downstairs. Let me just share a little bit about the Juneteenth. We have to recognize what's really going on and everything that's going on around us, right? So let me just share a little bit about the Juneteenth and my opinion about it, because it's real. It is really real on what's going on right now. So Juneteenth to me and for me is this. Our ancestors, which we were not even thought about, heard about, talked about, or anything. Our ancestors, right? They came through and were slaves. This is my understanding of it. And I'm sure there's other opinions and things about it, but this is my understanding that they were freed eventually. They were freed. And so they made this day, which is the actual celebration, is tomorrow, June 19th, but the actual holiday is June 20th. And so from what I understand, our ancestors was given freedom. However, when you're locked in a place for so long, you don't even realize what's going on. Yet you were free, but you didn't even know it. How can you even adjust to that? You've been in slavery so long, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and all of a sudden you're free. But mind you, you didn't know what to do, didn't know how to do it. You were still under that slave mentality, right? You didn't know. So literally, they come out, they threw them out, literally, freedom, but they didn't have anything to do. So what do? You resort back to what you know. Even though we was free in our mind and our spirit and our soul, we still didn't know what to do. Our ancestors still didn't know what to do. They was just, like I say, under that slave mentality. If you're not taught what to do other than to just be out there picking cotton, you just don't know what to do. So I celebrate Juneteenth with everyone else that's celebrating it, because it is a holiday, a national holiday, where the people are out celebrating and doing what needs to be done. So even if I just go out and just show my colors, I'm on a travel assignment right now for nursing. Even if I was put on my colors and just walk downtown, that's what I'm going to do. You see what I'm saying? Just get out and enjoy life. We are free. We are free from that mentality our ancestors went through. We don't have to stay bogged down in these different uh, places and things that's not edifying to us. We are free in our mind, in our spirit, and in our soul, in our body as well. So get out and enjoy. I know I am. I'm getting out and do something today. I don't care if I just walk through downtown and say hello to everybody and just say hello to everybody. We are free. So go out and do something. And I appreciate each and every one of you coming to this stage tonight to share. I'm going to bring you back up again. That was my little story. But I want to bring you ladies back up and just have you ladies just give your last words. I believe I'm just gonna let everybody just stay up on the stage and just give your last words on about the Juneteenth or whatever you want to share for this first year, our first milestone with the Global Caregivers Network. Anyone can go. I'm gonna start at the top. You go ahead, Judith, and we're gonna move to the bottom. I'm gonna let everybody just stay up on the stage.
All
Just mute
right.
your mic.
All right, Miss Sherrill, I say this is just the beginning. And something that came to my mind was you created this wonderful background. And guys, if you look at this, look at these lines, look at the brightness behind it connecting. We are all connected together, and this is worldwide. It's so beautiful. Just the beginning. And I want to speak on Miss Sherrill. You talked about Juneteenth, and I thought that was so powerful what you said. Coming from another side of not knowing all of that, it broke my heart. All my life growing up, I never understood this whole slavery thing. I remember telling my mom, Mom, why are they treating people like that? Why are they doing it? And she would tell me, well, because they're black. And I'm like, but Mom, that doesn't make sense. Just because somebody's skin color is a different color, it's going to give somebody the right to treat somebody so inhumane. And it broke my heart. I didn't understand it. So for June 19th to have that freedom, it is so huge. It is so huge. And when you said the freedom of the mentality, that was so deep because you don't realize how stuck in the mind you get on the mentality. That was just so huge. And my hat is off, strong, strong, strong. Black people, so strong, so beautiful. And don't ever forget it because I love everybody. I don't care what color your skin is. I love y'all. You're muted, Miss Sherrill. You're muted, Miss Sherrill.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Judy. And as we know it's not about the color of the skin, but it's about the color of the skin. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to keep that right there. And we're going to let Cynthia E. Fields come through and share her story as we move off the stage.
Miss Sherrill, come on back for me a minute. I was muted.
This is live.
Say that again. Say that again. You had a question. Did you mean to bring me up? I missed that. I thought you were bringing someone else back up.
I am Lisa. I'm sorry, not Lisa. Cynthia E. Fields.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move off the stage. And thank you all so much. Listen, this is technology, okay? None of this stuff is perfect. So don't listen, don't put me to the cross or nothing, because I'm still learning this stuff. Okay, so Cynthia E. Fields, you have the stage. Just tell us about what the June 10th, what's going on in your life, what's whatever you want to talk about to close us out.
Okay, well, first off, this is good practice for the live conference, right? It gives us a chance to but what I wanted to say was that I plan to touch on not only what the caregiver goes through, but what the caregiver's family goes through. because that was a part of my experience being the daughter of a caregiver with my mom taking care of my dad for 10 years. And so well, at least I haven't heard a lot of conversation about how that role impacts the children, because there is a part of the role that is filled by the children. Some of the roles are reversed because the parent, in my case, my mom, had taken on the caregiving role 24/7 for my dad. So I had to take on some responsibilities as a young person that my peers did not have to, they didn't experience, they weren't challenged with. So talking about that, and then also talking to those who are not caregivers yet, but they know someone who is a caregiver. So we're talking about this being global as far as reaching various aspects of the country, of the world, but we also want to touch and reach various aspects as far as the roles that are involved in someone who is needing care. So there's the person who is providing the actual hands-on care. There are people that provide support. There are people in the household who are impacted. And then there are other people within that circle, within that person's sphere of reach, who are observing from the outside what that caregiver is going through. So, what can then they do to help out someone who is a caregiver? So, if you're out there and you're watching and you're not a caregiver, don't think that this is not for you, because it is for you, because each of us is touched by caregiving in some way, shape, or form. Or even if you know someone who is in a professional capacity as a caregiver, they go through a lot, they see a lot, they're challenged with a lot. Mentally, they're affected mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because of what they see and what they experience. And then you are in their circle as someone who is providing support, perhaps someone who's providing encouragement, someone who's providing a break. So caregiving affects each and every one of us. If we really take a moment to just sit back and think about it, think about our experiences, and think about the people in our lives, each of us is impacted by caregiving in some way, shape, or form. We may be receiving care from someone. So don't allow the title to convince yourself to believe that the information is not for you, because I can guarantee you the information is for you. So July 9th, 9 a.m. for most people here. I'm in California, 6 a.m. You guys join us, get up early, get your coffee, get your breakfast. You can have your snacks while you're joining us, because there's going to be so much information. And lastly, you may not be in a caregiver role now, but that can change in a snap of a finger with the things that are happening in our society, things that are happening with COVID. You just never know when it's going to impact you firsthand. So come and join us and get some information, get some resources, hear our stories, get encouraged, get inspired, feel empowered. We have information just waiting for you. That's it for me.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Cynthia. Cynthia E. Fields. Thank you so much for sharing that. And absolutely, everyone that's watching, y'all may not be watching right now, but later on, go and get your Eventbrite tickets. And you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube. For those that's abroad, the Eventbrite tickets are $10. Come share with us. Come be with us on Saturday, July 9th. Cynthia just shared with you she's in California, so she's going to be up at 6 in the morning with her coffee and ready to roll. So Cynthia E. Fields, thank you so much for sharing that. And so I'm going to let Lisa or Michelle, any last words that you ladies have for us? Lisa Yvette Jones, any last words? We're going to get on out of here. Like I said, I'm getting out here. I'm getting out there. I'm going out there, man. I got to get out and have some fun. It is the Juneteenth weekend, right? So let's go out and have some fun. I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer, about another 10 minutes, and we're out. Any last words, Lisa Yvette Jones?
Yes, and you're saying it, and I do appreciate, my sister Judy and and Cynthia that just came. But you are saying something that I wish that all caregivers would hear. You have just said, I am going out to have fun. I am going out to celebrate. Even if it means me wearing the colors and me walking downtown, I am going to go out and celebrate. Do you know how many caregivers right now who feel that they cannot do that and do not know the last time that they have looked out for themselves to do it? I will always speak to the caregiver and caring for themselves first. It was the message that I give to leaders and leadership that I also give to caregivers. You cannot neglect yourself while you are caring for others. Self care is not selfish, it is necessary. And I will always tell you to serve people from your filled cup. Filled to the rim. Serve yourself from your filled cup, and everyone else is served from your overflow. You fill your cup first and allow everyone else to be served from your overflow, including those that you're caring about. So if you have not heard anything else, you heard Miss Sherelle say, I am going to go out and I am going to have me some fun. It is okay for you to ask for help and to get some good help, even if it means it for 2 hours, so that you can go and still be you and not get lost in all the things that you're doing, because it's truly easy to do. And like my sister Cynthia said, you may not be a caregiver right now, but that can change momentarily. I promise you that it can. And you can also be the one that need the care. That can change in a moment. So thankfully, listen, I tell you all now, you are free. Although that message was delayed, that freedom, that slavery was over, that message was delayed by a few years. But listen, it is no longer delayed, and no one else has to have to remind you that you are free. Go out and have a wonderful weekend. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers who are out there, who are caregivers or who are receiving care. God bless each and every one of you. All right, back to you, Sherelle.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lisa Yvette Jones. We cannot say enough, yes, ma'am, about, oh my goodness, just enjoying life. Do you know that we was down for 2 years? Let me take you back down, Miss Lisa. We were down for 2 years. Come on. Not me per se. I still had to be in the healthcare, but we were in the house. A lot of people just stayed in the house. It stifled them when the pandemic hit. They didn't go out. They didn't go to the store. They didn't visit friends. And some of them didn't even talk on the phone. They just stifled. I'm telling you right now, for Sherelle D. Mims, I am going to enjoy the rest of my life here on earth. It's a must. It is a must. Like I said, I'm about to change up out of this gear. I'm about to put on my I'm about to put on my colors, and I'm just gonna stroll. I'm down here in where am I? I'm in Indianapolis right now. Like I said, I'm on a travel nurse assignment. I'm about to get out of this and I'm hitting downtown. I'm gonna take the lift and I'm gonna walk around down there. And it's all kind of people downtown. It's all kind of people. You're just walking, enjoying life, not bother nobody. Do what you need to do today, ladies. And if there's any gentlemen in the studio, do what you need to do. We're not saddened. We're not downtrodden. We belong to Jesus, the Most High. Do what you need to do. Just keep yourself, like Lisa just said, with a full cup. Now, y'all already know when I walk out this door, I'm gonna run into somebody. Y'all already know I am not about to play with this. It is Juneteenth weekend. I'm about to put my colors on and I'm gonna hit the streets, y'all, for about a couple of hours. But before I do that, I'm gonna let Michelle D. Clark come and share her last words on about what's going on with her. Give us some words of wisdom, Michelle D. Clark, if you're able to talk. Michelle D. Clark, she may be gone already. However, I think she gave us a full cup of information already. So I'm going to remove her. So let's do this. I'm just going to bring everyone back up to stage and we're going to close out because I want you guys, you ladies, to get out there and have fun. Enjoy your life, right? We've been already in the house. Like I say, not me per se, but a lot of us have been in. That pandemic just did something to us physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. We all was affected by this thing. And it's still out there. I'm going out with my mask on, but I'm going to meet some good people. I expect when I walk out this door on June 10th weekend to meet some wonderful people. because God has already set me up for it. So don't delay. Get out, enjoy life, do what needs to be done for who? You. Do you. Because that's what I'm getting ready to do. Any last minute words? And I'm gonna close us out right with a wonderful word of wisdom. In whatever you do it unto the Lord. Do it with patience. Do it with excellence. Do it with quality. Be the best caregiver you can be. Then can't nobody do me like me. Y'all already know this. Can't nobody do Judy like Judy. Can't nobody do Cynthia like Cynthia. Can't nobody do Elisa or Michelle like them. Be who God created you to be. Don't try to imitate or duplicate anyone else. It's not going to work. And I'm going to leave y'all with that. Continue to do you and be you and do what God has called for you to do for such a time as this. I will share at the Get With Us, right? On Saturday, July 9th. Don't miss it. Come on out, people. We are caregivers. And like someone said, you're going to be a caregiver. Either you're going to be one now, later, in the future, and someone is going to need to take care of you. We're not exempt. Everyone needs help. I don't care if they got to bring you a cup of water. You didn't get it. So that's part of caregiving. If you're not independently doing your self-cares, eating, drinking, doing your bathing, doing whatever you need to do for yourself, then you're a caregiver. You're caring for someone. Know this. God loves you just the way he made you. And be, like I just said, be what God called you to be. I cannot do you. Everyone else is taken. Do you, be you, and be the best at whatever you do. I don't care if you shoveling snow. Shovel that snow the best way you know how. Amen. That's my story. This is our first year Global Caregivers Network, first year anniversary. I'm so happy you all came in to share. However, we're not going to worry about the rest. We're going to do it with the best. Amen. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night. I'm about to go out here and get in these streets. Not like that. Okay.
Bye, everybody. Happy anniversary, Sherelle.
Okay. Bless everyone. Have a great one. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we're not going to get in the streets. We're going to go out here and have some fun. Okay, everyone have a great weekend. And I will see you all next time. I send a link to you. God bless you all. Good night. Good night.